Brid Smith and Deputy
I want to support this amendment very much. An employer who is found guilty of having unfairly dismissed an employee has broken the law. There's legislation there, the Unfair Dismissals Act, and if the case ends up, even after 5 years, as the Deputy pointed out, there can be a terrible long wait to have your case heard for unfair dismissals. And if after that the employer is found to have been in breach of the law, then it is only correct and fair, in my view, that any costs incurred to the state as a result of his breach of the law should be returned to the state. Indeed, if one was to win a case in any court of law on an insurance claim or an injuries claim, the expenses for the legal costs would be returned to the winner. And although this isn't a legal cost, it is a cost to the state that somebody who's put out of work because of the illegal actions of their employer, obviously if the employee, the person who claims unfair dismissal, loses, then this doesn't apply. But should they win their claim and find that their claim is upheld, then this should apply. So I think that you will find, in my experience, and I've always been engaged very actively in trade unions when I was in normal jobs, not this kind of a job. I'm still a member of a trade union, but I at one stage used to teach courses for shop stewards on workers' rights and the various legislation that covered them. And the amount of cases that you come across is quite extraordinary, where employers blatantly flaunt the unfair dismissal procedures and break the law, and the employee wins their case, but the employer can calculate that the maximum that they will have to pay in compensation under the Act is 2 years' salary. So 2 years' salary could amount in many cases to about €60,000, and they're willing very often to bear that cost in order to perhaps get rid of an awkward employee or not have to pay them their full redundancy entitlements, or there's very many reasons and many instances where it happens. So I think this extra punitive measure on employers who are thinking in any way of breaching the strict procedures that apply to workers' rights, that apply to procedural agreements in many employments, any employer who may be considering breaching those procedures, or by accident breaches, they should have to pay a cost. The state should not be forced to bear the brunt of 3, 4, 5 years social welfare payments. They should be reimbursed in full by the person breaking the law or the company breaking the law. And that's quite simply what this amendment is about. It's very sensible, it's very simple to understand, and I can't really see why the government wouldn't support it, because there's a net gain to the coffers of the government should we pass this amendment to the legislation.